everybody? Welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Brandon Cobb. Excited to be here with you today, guys and girls. Today, I want to talk about how the banking crisis is going to affect the real estate market because it already has been affecting the real estate market. If you've listened to any news or have not been living under a rock, we've had like two of the largest bank failures in history. It really looks and smells like 2008 all over again. But it's not, but it's still interesting to see how things have unfolded so far and the ripple effects that are continuing to come out every single day, week, and month and quarter from the historic rise in interest rates that we've had. So today I want to break down exactly how these banking failures are affecting the real estate market and what you can do to protect yourselves. So before we jump in, if you get value from these episodes, do me a favor, show us some love, hit some reviews, go on your phone, just scroll down on the podcast, click the 5-star button or the 1-star button. If you're going to click a 1-star, at least let us know why, because we want to continue to deliver great value for it. When you do hit that 5-star review, it bumps us up in the algorithm. It gives us more eyeballs and motivates us to deliver more fantastic content to you, the listener, because that's what we want to do. We want you to get value from this. We want you to create financial independence. We want you to build a big, huge, fantastic money-producing business and to be able to grow and attract the right talent and team around you so that you can build something that generates enough income to live life on your own terms. If you've been interested in learning more about passive income, we've got a ton of great resources on our website. Head on over there to hbgcapital.net. Download all the free stuff, absorb it. If you feel compelled to schedule a call with us, we'd love to have you, and we'd love to look forward to getting to know you better. All right, so let's jump into this today. So I personally don't think that we're out of this yet. I think that there's still some things that are going to happen in the banking sector. I do think that the government has responded well, at least, and you can tell because things just have not been cratering like they did in 2008. But at its core, this banking crisis did not have the same systemic roots that caused the plant to kill over back in 2008. This was caused by something else. I don't have time to go over it, but if you want to listen to the whole breakdown of that, I did do another episode on it on the SV banking collapse. You can check out that podcast as well. But this is basically what's happening. You are seeing people get worried that they're not going to be able to pull their deposits out. So this is causing bank runs that are causing banks to liquidate their assets, much of which are in these bonds that aren't worth near as much because interest rates have gone up. And as a result, they're taking heavy, heavy, heavy losses on their balance sheet because they have to get the money to the depositors when they ask for it. And if you don't have it in the account, you have to go liquidate the assets that you had your depositors, the money invested in. And that's what's been happening with these banks. People have been pulling money out of them, and you got to think, follow the money. Where is the money going? That's what's going to tell you the repercussions from this and how it affects real estate. So where are they going? They're going out of smaller localized banks that are not as well capitalized and into larger, more liquid and well capitalized banks like JP Morgan. Where's the money also going? Well, it's going somewhere safer, probably at home underneath the mattress, underneath the pillow, somewhere where a bank can't lose it. So these local banks are seeing depositors come and get their money out and, move it in one of these two directions. So this is causing banks to scale back on their lending. When you do not have as much lending resources available, aka deposits, you can't lend them, and you scale this back. And when you're taking heavy losses on your balance sheet from having to liquidate the assets that you hold at a loss to be able to pay the depositors what they are requesting, well, you're not very profitable. And what happens when you're not profitable? You shrink down and scale back. This is basically a long-winded way of saying that the lending in the real estate market is getting a lot tougher. Some loans have dried up completely. It is extremely difficult to get a development loan just to develop land. It's tough to get a construction loan for some of these larger projects, even some of the smaller projects. The terms have scaled back. Banks are not doing 80% LTV, loan to value anymore. They're wanting I was able to get like 0% down loans on some of our builds. That's gone away. They want you to have at least 15% of the total cost of the project in it as well. So terms have gotten a lot stiffer. Banks are not growing their balance sheet anymore. They're not looking for new customers. Most of them are just trying to keep their current customer base happy and satisfied. So needless to say, this is going to cause a few things to happen in the real estate market. I think you're going to see a cap on supply because you're not going to have as many loans come through to get the inventory on the market. It's also going to shrink your buyer pool as well, because a lot of buyers who were able to get a loan can't afford it anymore. A lot of people were like, man, I could buy this really nice $500,000 house. Well, I was at a 3.5% interest rate. Now that interest rates are around 6.5, 7. I mean, that $500,000 house went down to a $330,000 house, and the $330,000 house ain't quite as impressive as that $500,000 house. So there's some expectations that are being adjusted right here. So another big reason that the lending has just dried up is because a lot of these local banks do most of the real estate loans. If you're a local builder, these local banks love to invest in the community. You're usually working with a local bank. You're not working with a Wells Fargo or a Regions. They're not very interested and structured to do those types of loans. So you're working with a local bank. Well, if all that money is being fleeing these local banks, you're going to find yourself with no funds to do the real estate projects, no funds to get your rentals refinanced, the funds to build what you need to build, the funds to buy the real estate assets that you want to buy. It's just really difficult right now to get debt, and as a reason for that, it's going to be a lot tougher. Now, here's how you can make some money with it. If you are in a position where you are not reliant on a bank for things, now it gets interesting because your competition just literally dried up overnight with the debt that they can't get anymore. So if you're in a cash position, if you're in a position where you might have some equity, you feel safe doing like a line of credit, taking that out and doing something with. If you're in a position where you work with investors and have cash sitting on the sidelines ready to deploy, I know we do, it is going to get really interesting because I think there's going to be some fantastic opportunities that are going to come to the table as distress hits. Sellers need to sell, and there's not as many buyers sitting on the sidelines or in the game that are willing to go and take a shot at that deal. So not as many people buying deals, not as many people selling deals, much more difficult to get capital. But what's funny is when it's more difficult to get capital, usually opens up another door, which means there's going to be some really good deals. Totally different market that we were in a year ago, where it was tons of capital everywhere. It was super easy to get financing, but there was no good deals out there. It was super hard to find deals. So one door closes, another one opens. So this is how the real estate market is going to be affected. I think that it's going to be a fantastic time, especially in probably a year or two, to be in the real estate world if you are liquid and have access to the funds needed without using a bank. Again, if you're interested in learning more about creating passive income, if you want to invest in real estate, just not sure what to do or how, go to our website, hbgcapital.net, book a call with us. We'd love to see if we can't steer you in the right direction. Have a fantastic day.